So theories are cool, and theories are one of the things that we continuously do as YouTubers, as content creators, commentators, viewers. It's something that we do consistently because there's a lot of things to uncover, a lot of things to dig into, and I think there's a cool conversation to be had every single time that we do. When I come up with some video ideas and I put them out there with you guys, there's a lot of feedback. When we talk about theories that maybe I had in my head that I thought would be cool, or theories that I've seen you guys comment, or theories that I've seen on Reddit or whatever, and we talk about these things, it is cool to see everybody else's perspective. Some of the videos that I've made, I've had some people say like, this is shit, or this theory is stupid, or what did you smoke? You know, it's just like people don't agree all the time, and that's fine, right? Absolutely fine. I think differences in opinion, looking at it from a different perspective, is what makes, you know, my channel good, other channels great, and it makes it fun and engaging for me and for you, right? Because if we all just agreed on every single thing, then it'd be kind of BS, right? You know, it'd be too much patting on the back, not enough real conversations happen. But one conversation that I continuously see all over, I would say YouTube, some Reddit, some comments, many comments actually on my videos in particular, is the conversation that Bell from Call of Duty Cold War is Case from Black Ops 6. Now, I'm not here to disprove that theory. I'm not here to argue against that theory. I actually don't know the facts behind that theory either, because the videos that I see floating around on the internet, I don't necessarily click on them almost ever, because I don't like to engage in them, because I might say something from their video that affects my video, that affects my thinking without me noticing, and I'm never ever trying to do that. So just from like the pictures that I can see, and then again on Reddit and on the comments, is where I can understand where this big theory comes from, that Bell is Case, and I cannot get behind it. Again, I don't know the specifics of the theory and what it entails, but it's a question that I've seen asked and a lot of people believe. Now, I think the basis of it is because Russell Adler told Marshall that 10 years ago he visited the Advanced Technologies facility. 10 years ago would have been 1981. The events of Call of Duty Cold War ended in 1981. That shot that we see of Adler and Bell on the cliff takes place in 1981. Now, I think the basis of this theory is that after that happened, Adler grabbed Bell, took him to the Advanced Technology facilities, and kind of brainwashed him to forget absolutely everything that happened, gave him this completely new identity, and sent him, you know, back to the CIA or whatever. But he would always be under complete control of this character that was first Bell and now Case. And for Bell, you know, you had a certain keyword that you would use, and maybe in Black Ops 6 there's also a certain keyword or something that they continuously say over and over again to Case, but that's never addressed, that's never confirmed. It's just something that we can maybe think or look for or observe. And so I think that was the case. That was one of the biggest reasons why Bell could be Case, because Adler did work there, Adler did visit that place, and it's very possible that Adler did that. Instead of getting rid of Bell, you know, he maybe found him useful and he could use him some more. You know, other conversations around it is that Adler and Case work together very well. You know, they do missions together and they seem to have chemistry, and they seem to just kind of go with the flow, like everything is fine. So that's another reason that some people might believe that it's Bell, because they have that prior history, because they've worked together so much. You know, he has his face covered in most of the campaign, so we never really see his face. We never see Bell's face. They're both silent. And so although that evidence is there, I don't get behind it. For me, like I guess common sense, it just doesn't seem plausible. It doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem right. Like, why would Bell be Case? Why would that be the case? Like, I can't get behind it, because it's just, I feel like they're completely different people. I feel even like their skin tone might be different. I think Bell might have been a little bit more darker. Like, we never really see Bell's hands all that much, but we see like the fingertips of his hands, and they seemed a lot more brown, a lot more dark, even though he was a Russian man. And then you see Case Cauldron, and he's not like white, but he's a little bit more like a tannish, almost like a light tan. It just doesn't seem plausible. And I know I keep saying that over and over again, but it's just, that's what my head is going to. I cannot understand this theory, because Bell, Russian man, probably in his 30s by the time that he got taken in by Adler and everyone else. William Cauldron or Calderon is probably in his 20s, and somewhere around his 20s, like late 20s maybe. So the age doesn't seem to add up. Now, is that confirmed? No, but that's what I see, what I feel from what I've played. But the age doesn't seem to match up. The skin tones doesn't seem to match up. I mean, it also doesn't make sense that Park met him in the desert mission. Now, that could be argued, well, he had a mask on and glasses, so how would Park know who he was? Like, yeah, okay, you know, all right, that, sure. And then you have him with Sims. Why didn't Sims recognize him? And then there was this thing where it's like, well, Sims and Park didn't recognize him because they pretended not to recognize him. Of course, they knew who he was. Adler let them know, but they were all in the game. So everybody is in this elaborate game that Case is Bell and that we're all going to keep quiet. I don't think so. I think Bell served his purpose in Cold War. And I think a lot of people liked him and attached themselves to Bell. On a personal note, I didn't really like him all that much. I didn't really care all that much for Bell. So I was a little pissed and surprised when I got killed at the end because I felt like that was me, but I didn't really care all that much for him. And so I think Adler killed Bell, got rid of him, disposed of the body, went to the advanced technology facilities for God knows why. And then a few years later, you have this guy named Case who was part of this experiment in the cradle and all these things happened to him. And that's a completely different guy with a completely different story. I do not think Bell is Case whatsoever. It does not make sense to me. I don't understand why Call of Duty or Activision or Treyarch would even want to do that. It's playing a long game that doesn't really matter, doesn't really make sense. It just doesn't. Woods also talked to him and saw him all the time, and Woods would not know him, and then you can say, well, Woods pretended also or this and that, or Woods didn't see his face either. But how could that be the case? You don't trust someone as much as you trusted Case if you've never seen his freaking face. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my point. And so I brought this question up to you guys as well. 3 days ago, I asked, do you guys really believe that Case is Bell? I've seen this theory a lot. 21% of you said yes, and 79% of you said no. There was a 1.3 thousand vote. And some of the comments were like, we can go through some of these. Personally, no. Case is obviously voices like Bell, but I feel that that's where the similarities end. And then he goes on about what he thinks is different, which I agree with a lot of that he said. And then Spetsnaz says, it makes zero sense. They reprogrammed and created Bell because they needed him to tell where Perseus was. After Perseus was defeated, his purpose was over and they didn't need him anymore. So why after 10 years would they use him, especially for sensitive missions? You see what I'm saying? You see, like, I agree with that. Daft Cobra YouTube, yes and no, to be honest. I can see why people want it to be true, but I don't see it happening in canon. And I also agree he has a YouTube channel. You should check it out. Really cool guy. Then we have, I see why people would think Bell is alive. The timeline for theory does add up, but he ain't walking off a 45 round to the face dome piece. Very freaking true. But then, Rourke survived that shit as well. So who knows? But look, a lot of the comments were kind of saying no. And this is what we have. It was something that I wanted to bring up to you guys and talk a little bit more. I know we have that video on Cases Alex. That was bullshit. You guys know that. The thumbnail even said no. I just didn't agree with that theory either. I don't agree with any of these theories. I don't know who Case is. I think he's his own person, and hopefully we get to find out more of his history. Now, if in a few months down the line, it turns out that Case was actually Bell, holy crap. Mind blown. I'm an idiot. Shut down the channel. You know what I mean? But I don't see it happening.